Kyle Schassburger, David Kahn, weekend number 7 in the books. We're coming a day early in terms of our recording. It's Monday night. Kahn's on the precipice of vacation. Please tell me you have a drink, right? Like, come on. Where's your drink at?
I had a drink earlier tonight.
Oh, it got us. You didn't remind me. Oh, we suck at life.
Now I need a drink.
Just when we try to have some fun, right off the bat, didn't take the loop off. You know, that's almost as bad as these torpedo pads that the Yankees are using.
You're a hater?
Is it not?
You're a hater?
No, I actually love them. I do. I was trying to take a devil's advocate approach. I thought you were going to be the one, as the Red Sox fan that you are, to come down on the Yankees for bending the rules in their favor.
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Also, I did have a drink earlier. I had a strawberry lemon shandy at Foothills tasting room when I did trivia with my trivia team that I do every week. And they actually poured strawberry lemonade on top of the beer. It was delicious. So I did consume a beverage earlier, but now I have to lock in because we're doing this podcast. And then if a certain team wins a game, I have more work to do before I can pack. I haven't packed, by the way. I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and I have not packed a single article of clothing.
Are you going
to be up late?
You're going to New York City, right? I mean, you're going up northeast. Yeah. Are you going to take one of these torpedo bats for a test run or what?
You know, I actually just got a text that it sounds like I have 2 tickets to the Yankees game on Wednesday.
Oh,
so I will get to see the Torpedoes game in person. The Torpedo Bats in person, baby. All right? And I can scowl at them with my Red Sox fandom from afar. No, I actually really love the Torpedo Bats, and I love it because of the nerdiness of it, right? So there's a lot to get into with these things, and there's a lot of people who are saying, like, oh, they're cheating. They're not cheating. There's regulations for how bats can be built, and as long as bats fall within these regulations, it's legal. And the regulations are, for those nerds out there, you need to be within 2.61 inches in diameter and 42 inches in length for the bats. So all they did, which is the guy behind this is an MIT educated physicist who got into baseball at a very old age. He got his PhD at MIT, Michigan physics professor, which why do these scandals always involve Michigan, man? Like, come on. Saw that on social media earlier today.
Aaron Leonhardt. He is the mastermind who has come up through the minors, decided to – he's got a PhD from MIT, on top of it, decided to go all in on the analytical side with baseball. I mean, this guy worked previously on NASA-funded research teams.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, his brain is bigger than yours and mine, which I occupy very little of that combined, and, maybe an army of several other minions. I mean, this guy is just revolutionizing the game, which we certainly love. You know who also is revolutionizing the game, and that's the Borgognos brothers. We're going to have a couple of them coming on a little bit later on. Less than 30 minutes from now, we're going to have Blake and Tatem, who are the masterminds behind the Borgoball, the 4 Borgognos brothers. We're going to talk about the Borgoball and everything it is doing to revolutionize backyard baseball, indoor, outdoor baseball, that sort of thing. So we thought it'd be a good idea to bring them on, the collab that we have with them. We're very excited. We've got the Borgoball, as Kahn was just brandishing it. For those of you that are following us on YouTube, we thank you, helping us to continue to grow the channel. Of course, the OGs, College Sports Now, wherever you get your audio podcasts. A lot of basketball stuff in the content feed with Stephen Hartzell, Matt Norlander, Rob Joyce, and Megan Gower. So, Kahn, what you were referencing earlier, and I know we're talking torpedo bats, and we will get to college baseball. We will get to the Curfew Gate, #Curfew Gate that was going on in College Station with Kentucky and Texas A&M. Danny Hall at Georgia Tech is retiring at season's end. That news broke right before the start of this weekend. There is some box score bingo. I do want to note, we'll talk about some of the other notable weekend results. Not a lot of shuffling amongst the top 7 or top 10. Maybe a little. I mean, Arkansas's had 2. Tennessee remains at 1. Arkansas, a very loud sweep at Vanderbilt. Georgia, a loud sweep of Auburn this past weekend. Florida State at 4. Texas at 5. So we'll get into all that. And I want you to finish your thought on the torpedo bats. But just to set up the show, Borgognos brothers are coming on here shortly. I'm excited for that. And I'm excited you get to take some time away from the office, in spite of maybe having to polish off some late night production in preparation for the UConn women's basketball team, making the Final Four. I'm going to speak it into existence and go ahead and give you the TKOD.
Oh, it's happening. So UConn women's basketball is going to the Final Four. Just lock it in right now. All right. It's going to happen. They're going to beat USC, and your boy will be polishing off late night production on the UConn women's basketball Final Four scene setter that will titillate your senses, your ear mainly.
What a great word. What a great word. Word of the day on this pod is dubious.
Ooh.
Dubious.
Wow.
It is not to be relied upon, suspect. Okay. Extremely dubious assumptions or questionable methods to maybe bend the rules in your favor. Is this what the Yankees are doing? I don't know. It falls within the letter of the law, as you just indicated. I do not think so. I am a proud supporter of what the Yankees are doing. Was it dubious what Kentucky was doing against Texas A&M? Before I'm willing to go there, I will share some depressing news that you delivered to me in my inbox, in my DMs, as you slid in there with your sly self right before we hit record on this podcast. What is dubious is what the Charleston River Dogs are doing, as they are quote unquote, making a change. This is the word that they use. They are, quote, adjusting the price of beer on dollar beer nights from $1 to $5. That is not adjusting a price. That is hiking it by 500%, which consequently eliminates the promotion in and of itself. The promotion no longer exists. That is dubious of the Charleston River Dogs, as they are trying to pull a fast one on all of us. I mean, I don't think there could be worse news to make it to this podcast tonight than what the Charleston River Dogs are going to do to all of us.
And do you know who the Charleston River Dogs used to be a minor league affiliate of? They aren't anymore, but they used to be a minor league affiliate of the New York Yankees. Yes. They're now affiliated with the Tampa Bay Rays, but they used to be with the Yankees back when I was in minor league baseball. So it all comes back to the Yankees. But yeah, River Dogs, what are you doing? Come on. You already exist in one of the most expensive cities in the country. Charleston, South Carolina is not for the cheap. It is for the plentiful. All right. It is expensive to be there. I was there for a week 2 summers ago, and I spent a lot of money. So trust me.
I hear there's a good ratio in South.
There is South King Carolina. Street specifically. There's a very good ratio. Yes, I spent many a night out there. Anyways,
you love to hear it.
You do. Also, I found a great bar that had late night Pop-Tarts. Delicious. Very good.
Late night Pop-Tarts, really?
Yeah. They were $15 a Pop-Tart, but they were damn good.
Texas did beat TCU. Okay, so Texas earns the third spot in the Final Four for the women's. Your Final Four bracket, just to close the loop on the basketball talk. By the way, if you haven't already, folks, you're doing it wrong. Download the Varsity Network app. You can consume all the March Madness at your fingertips, injecting it into your ears in the finest, most pure form via Westwood One NCAA Radio Network or these team-specific broadcasts. Help us celebrate the greatest time of the year when it comes to college basketball, overlapping into baseball as we try to create enough bandwidth in all of our lives to follow it all. But the end is near, Kahn, okay? The Final Four for the men's game is set. I think I officially have outlasted you based on our audio pool results and CBSSports.com that we use for the office, but by only 1 point, one mere point. I mean, it was nip and tuck.
Well,
but
Texas
good on
Tech
you.
Killed me. Texas Tech killed me.
Yeah. Texas Tech blew it there late. 10-point lead on Florida. Final 6 minutes or so, up 9 with 3 and change. And, if they could have hung on, the bag would have been yours, my good friend. But we did not wager any White Claws or anything like that. So
no.
I think
that's only for the baseball playoffs.
Yes. Anything else I'm going to say? Oh, I do want to remind you also, okay, the Varsity Network app is there. All the audio play-by-play from a national perspective, team-specific. The only place you can stream, okay, the NCAA tournament and March Madness is through the Varsity Network app. So make sure you have that. You can listen. Well, podcast is going to be recorded, but the Final Four will be set for women's basketball. And by the time you consume this on YouTube on Tuesday or Wednesday, wherever it is you get your audio podcasts, before the Final Four, men and women's, make sure you listen through the Varsity Network app. You can find our podcast there as well. And baseball barbecue, Con, before we get to Kentucky and Texas A&M, it's time. I mean, the weather is becoming beautiful. I mean, it was rainy today in the Triad. Temperatures are going to tick back up into the mid-70s. So tomorrow, I don't know what it looks like for New York and your vacation here as you get away, but it's time. It's time to get ready for grilling season, and baseball barbecue is going to be the ones that you want to rely on for that.
You're absolutely right. And we have a special discount code 3D-20, 3D-20 at baseballbarbecue.com. You get 20% off your order right now. So go get your fine grilling utensils, your cutting boards, your various team branded apparel. Go get it all at baseballbarbecue.com. It is incredible. It's the finest grilling tools you can have. They have incredible seasonings as well that Kyle and I have both ingested into our bodies, put on our meats as we grill them up with our grilling tools, our tongs, our spatulas. We have all the works. And it's all CSN branded. So we appreciate Baseball Barbecue for that as well. But you can get anything customized, all your favorite college teams. You can get anything customized you want, whatever logo you want out there. They can do it. So go to baseballbarbecue.com. 3D-20 is the discount code for 20% off. I do want to touch on the Torpedo bats real quick before we get into Curfew Gate.
I'm just stuck on you talking about seasoned meats and using all the tools. But yeah, we should move to the next topic.
Yeah. So we talked about the fact that Aaron Leanhart was the guy who created this, right? But the impetus behind this is because he is a 48-year-old who just joined the minor leagues in 2018. Noticed, by the way, he's with the Marlins now. He's their field coordinator at the major league level. He saw that averages were plummeting, strikeouts were skyrocketing, and he was like, well, how can we advance the hitter's game when there's all these analytical adjustments on the pitching side? You see all these pitching labs coming up at places like Wake Forest, and West Virginia just opened one. And he said, well, how can we combat this at the major league level? Well, it's like, okay, well, where's the sweet spot on the bat? Why can't we make the barrel basically bigger, right? Why can't we make the sweet spot more sweet? And so that's what he did. He just moved pieces of the bat, the wood, from where the hitter doesn't make contact to where they make more contact. And so you see this larger style torpedo-shaped bat, and when you hit it, there's more impact. It's as simple as that.
Is it so much, though? Like, the barrel can't get much bigger itself. My thought is it's
maxed out.
Yeah, I read a lot on this. It's hard for me to, parse through it all. But to simplify it, it's you're removing or shaving down below the barrel, below the sweet spot, and also above in a way that at least enhances, amplifies, creates an illusion that the barrel looks bigger. But in fact, the barrel and sweet spot of the bat is pretty much unchanged from what I understand to still stay within the specifications of what Major League Baseball is policing and allows. So it has created a bat now that looks like a toddler, bat that you'd be hauling around in the backyard playing wiffle ball, or something Bam Bam would have when you and it's beautiful. I mean, I love it. I'd like to get my hands on one of those for sure. And I know Mariucci has put out some content earlier in the day, making them available to the public. Homewood Bats, which is from my South Side suburb in Chicago, has been doing media in the city of Chicago today, also describing, the pros and cons. And these bat makers are about to make a killing over this. That's for sure.
My God.
Unless Major League Baseball somehow, changes the rule. But when I don't see that happening, because when you think about that, you think about, the pitchers have gotten so much better. What can we do to even the playing field and to help the hitters somehow? I think this is the way. And you think of, Babe Ruth used to swing, a 45-ounce bat? I mean, nobody's swinging that, because he's able to get it around against pitchers that weren't near the quality that they are today. It's just part of it's part of the game evolving. I think it's just the fact that it has snuck up on people seemingly overnight here at the start of the season, something that Giancarlo Stanton started, really implementing into his repertoire during the postseason run last year. He had like 7 bombs in 13 postseason games or something. He was using it. Nobody knew. Nobody was talking about it. There was no attention to it. But when you see the Yankees hit 9 home runs in one game, put up 20 runs, in the second game of the season, and they're continuing to stroke it and just hit rockets all over every part of the yard, yeah, people are going to, tighten the eyes a little bit there.
They hit 15 homers in 3 games. I mean, that's eye-popping numbers. They set history with like 9 homers in one game the other day. And now maybe the Brewers are just bad, but I don't know. That's too much pro baseball talk anyways. But I mean, here's the thing. There's 5 Yankees that are using it right now. Cody Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Volpe, and Austin Wells. Aaron Judge isn't even using it. And Aaron Judge has most of their home runs. So like people are complaining like, oh, the Yankees are hitting more home runs because of these bats. No. Aaron Judge has like 6 home runs already. That's nearly half of their home runs. So, get over yourselves. The game changes, adapt or die, right? Adapt or die. That is the end of the story.
I love it. I love it. Moneyball. By the way, JM Morris, BJM Morris, John Michael Morris last week. Awesome. If you missed that, the Vanderbilt director of recruiting. We might have KO'd though the Commodores as they dropped 3 games to Arkansas.
We always do it.
Week.
We do it.
We will start in the SEC, and then let's get to Danny Hall before we bring on the Borgognos brothers. Kentucky and Texas A&M. Kentucky wins the series. A&M did get on the board, at least winning a game. They're no longer over in the SEC. Missouri has those lone honors as they are 0-8. One of the games washed out against Texas. Texas, by the way, one of 4 teams that top the SEC standings, all with 1 loss: Tennessee, Arkansas, Georgia, and Texas. But Texas A&M is 1-8. They get 1 win, but they get beat by Kentucky. And on getaway day on Sunday, a chance to potentially salvage the series. They're down 10-5 in the 8th inning. It's 4:28 p.m. in the bottom of the 8th inning. A&M is down 5, and Kentucky is taking their sweet time, knowing that at 4:30 Central, 4:30 Central, they cannot start another inning. Meaning Kentucky at this point is just trying to avoid a 5-run inning, but there's already, I think, 2 outs in the frame. And Kentucky takes their sweet time. Nick Mingione, the head coach for Kentucky, Michael Early, the head coach for Texas A&M. I don't think there's a seat that's hotter in all of college baseball, and it's just the second month for Michael Early as the head coach. This is what happens potentially when you promote a coach, listening to your players to preserve the roster continuity and not maybe look as much big picture. I get it, though. Texas A&M was reeling. They had to act quickly with Schloss's exit to Texas. But now you're seeing the worst-case scenario at Texas A&M, and it got nasty out there on Sunday.
It did get nasty out there on Sunday. And here's the thing. I get it from both sides.
Sure.
I like it. It's a, I mean, someone call it a soft move by Kentucky, but like, listen, you play to win the game, right? Not to put out another cliche phrase, but you play to win the game. Kentucky knew the rule that they had to get out of Dodge at 4:30. If they hadn't started the 9th inning, the game would be over after 8. They manipulated the rule. It's a rule for a reason, right? They didn't do anything wrong. They did an extra mound visit. They told the pitchers to take their sweet time, use up all the action clock, and they executed the rule to a T. Like, I can't be mad about it from Nick Mingione's side of things. I understand the frustration from Michael Early and Texas A&M 100%. And it's a soft rule and maybe one that needs to be looked at again. And like umpires need to be more in control of that situation and say, hey, Nick, like, come on, dude. We all know what you're doing. Because like he was doing it. But like Michael Early on the other side, he said, look, I told my guys to strike out as quick as possible.
He did.
I did. I was like, let's go. I want to get the 9th inning in. And granted, like, you look at the game, you go, okay, you're down 5. Is there a chance? Yes, there is a chance. So Nick Mingione, knowing how, Texas A&M, they've struggled. They're 1-8 in the SEC. But he knows that Texas A&M has the potential to score 5 or 6 runs in an inning like that. So he's like, I don't want to give him a chance. Like, I understand the strategy.
It started with Devin Burks, veteran catcher for sure, looking at his pitch comm on his right wrist and going to the dugout and calling for additional attention as if to say, the pitch comm bracelet was not working. And then there was a mound visit. And Early knew everybody knew what was going on immediately from a Texas A&M perspective. And I agree with you, Kahn. I see both sides. If you're Early, I think Michael Early got as boisterous as he did because the state of this program right now. He felt like he had to make a show that he was standing up for his guy. And even if they weren't 1 of 8 in the SEC, one of 4 teams that are now 1-8, Florida, did get a win this past weekend.
Yep.
Some more shenanigans happened where they should have had 2 wins, though, but didn't.
Yes.
Mississippi State, South Carolina, all 4 of these teams are 1-8 in the league. Texas A&M, though, 13-14 overall. Okay, 13-14. It's going to take a modern-day miracle for them to make the NCAA tournament at this time. I feel like we were just saying this about Florida a year ago, but this is far worse. At 1-8, no team since 1996 that has been the preseason number 1 has missed out on the NCAA tournament. I don't see it happening. And for Michael Early, I think he's feeling the heat and knew that he had to do all – that was his opportunity, whether they were going to win that game, which they were very unlikely to in the bottom of the 8th inning, down 5. But that could be a flashpoint, a critical turning point maybe in getting his team to perform and buy in, and his message to not fall on deaf ears and to show not just his team, because I think it's less about showing his team. They wanted him there, right? This roster wanted him. And I know, things haven't worked out from an injury standpoint, a health standpoint, those sorts of things. But these are the guys that wanted Early. So he's there. But he's trying to prove to administration, trying to prove to the fans. This is all happening in College Station, too. And Mingione and Early, though, were barking at each other very loudly. Mingione in the dugout was, obviously he stays in the dugout. He's not a base coach. But then Early, coming out of the dugout and the umpires getting right in between them. It was fascinating theater. But it was cool. Here's the thing, Kahn, just to tie a knot on this, and then you can share any final thoughts, and then we'll get to Danny Hall. Michael Early did say it was embarrassing to admit that he wanted his guy to strike out, that he wanted to tell him that, just to make sure they got to the 9th inning. But all that said, the fierce competitiveness of the SEC in a series at stake, in spite of a 5-run deficit, Early, trying to build some goodwill in terms of the hot seat that he's currently sitting on in College Station. Both teams, surprisingly to me, but even more understandably when you think about it, in this league, it was cordial. There was a handshake line. The coaches did embrace, although not fully, but I expected them almost to completely avoid each other. So I think they were able to move past it. We'll see if things bubble back up in Hoover. I look forward to a Kentucky-Texas A&M game.
Oh, it needs to happen. It needs to happen. We need it so badly. Here's the thing. If you're Texas A&M, I think you put it perfectly, Schass. Let this moment be a spark plug. Let this moment tell you that teams are afraid to face you in a full 9-inning game. Let this moment spur you, motivate you, put it up in the locker room, put it in the dugout, whatever you have to do if you're Texas A&M. This can be the moment that turns your entire season around. You can go ahead and be pissed off about it, or you can use it as motivation and turn your season around and make the NCAA tournament and try and go on a run. It is still all out there for the taking. Now, it's going to be tough, because I'm pretty sure they're at Lindsey Nelson Stadium this weekend to face Tennessee. So good luck with that. But, go on a run and win it all in Hoover. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it has to start now. And this is the perfect spur to channel Tennessee to get that rattling ball going again and get into the NCAA tournament.
What starts now also, or as of a few days ago, is the farewell tour for Georgia Tech head coach Danny Hall. Hall of Famer in 2023 by the ABCA. 22-6 is Georgia Tech this year. 8-4 in the ACC, but 1,433 wins for Danny Hall in his 38-year career. 32 of those coming at Georgia Tech. He's sitting at 1,225 wins. His team gave a hell of an effort this past weekend. David, I don't think, unless you really dive into the box scores, because you just see Clemson took 2 out of 3. But, I mean, these were some high-level ball games. I mean, Clemson won 9-7 on game 1. Game 2 was not close, 18-2 Georgia Tech. But then that 4-3 loss, Georgia Tech to Clemson in game 3, I think that was game 2, the doubleheader that they had played. I mean, Georgia Tech took the lead in the 8th inning on a Drew Burris bomb, 108 off the bat, 417 into the football facility in left field, 27-degree launch angle. I mean, they had the game there, 3-2, bottom of the 8th inning. But then they blew at Clemson, came back with 2 more runs. I give the context just to say, like, that team was prepared to win a high level, as they always are, as Danny Hall teams have always been accustomed to be. I mean, they know the moment. They played hard for their coach. They may not have came out on the winning end following his retirement announcement, but they have the rest of this year, and I think this might be very Mike Martin-esque in terms of his final final stretch run here at Georgia Tech where maybe this team can get all the way back to Omaha, which for him would be a fourth appearance with the Yellow Jackets.
Yes, it would be. They've made the NCAA tournament 24 times and only 3 College World Series appearances. The stat that I love the most about Danny Hall, since his arrival in 1994, 146 Yellow Jackets have been drafted in the major leagues. I think that is staggeringly impressive. All right. That's really, really cool. So congratulations to Danny Hall on a storied career. And I certainly hope for his sake that Georgia Tech sends him out on the right note with a trip to the College World Series.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome dude. Everything I've heard, I've never talked to him, but everything you hear about him, his impact at Georgia Tech, within the program, for the community, all the accolades, all the wins, speak for themselves. But 5 ACC tournament championships go along with 7 ACC regular season crowns. 4 times he's been named ACC Coach of the Year, 1 National Coach of the Year award also. So just spectacular career for Danny Hall that isn't over yet. So we'll see if he can potentially guide his team all the way to Omaha. Georgia Tech, again, coming off the series loss to Clemson, but, still playing. They're number 25 in the rankings. They're still hanging on. They entered the rankings last week, Kahn. They're being propped up, if you will, by a sweep in South Bend over Notre Dame, but then winning 2 out of 3 against Virginia Tech. So let's take a break. We got the Borgognos brothers that are standing by. We're going to talk some Borgoballs for about 20 minutes with them, get their thoughts on the state of the game, college baseball, too. Baseball in general. How about the Torpedo bats? Let's just chop it up with the Borgognos brothers, but we'll talk some Borgoballs as they have restocked. So you can get those orders in now, backyardbaseballbros.com. Back in a minute here on Dugouts, Dumbbells, and Dingers.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude. Gets up when they fall down and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids dealing with unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness or disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Help us get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org. Team Impact. All in, all together.
Hi, this is Rob Joyce. Each week, I'm joined by Her Hoop Stats' Megan Gower as we break down the latest in women's basketball across the country on College Sports Now. We've got analysis, expert guests, the latest bracketology breakdowns, and more. From coast to coast, we've got you covered with all of the action now through the Final Four in April. Search College Sports Now wherever you get your podcasts. And check out herhoopstats.com for all of your women's basketball needs.
The Borgognos brothers are with us, the founders of the Borgoball. We've got 3 of them. Blake was able to tell me that older brother Brett was able to jump on last minute. Tatem's there as well. We've been working with Blake to help, bring the Borgoball to our audience and so much more. And it certainly is revolutionizing the game that is indoor baseball, backyard baseball, the raised seams. Kahn, you got it? You got your ball?
I got it here.
I got one of mine right here. Yeah. How many Borgoball balls you guys got around you right now, dude? I love that setup. Look at the background. Maybe
we should have grabbed some Borgoballs.
That's all right. We got them for you, man. Blake, how you doing? Tatem, Brett, welcome to the show. Now, Ty is the 4th brother. He's at Long Beach State, so he's a little bit busy now playing some baseball. At least he's got other responsibilities at the moment. But we appreciate all 3 of you coming on. We wanted to be able to share your story a little bit more. Blake, things you and I and David talked about prior to the start of the college baseball season. But let's start with you, Blake, and we'll just go down the line. I mean, tell me about this ball. Backyardbaseballbros.com is where you can put in an order. 2,000 balls sold out pretty quick, 500 orders. The balls dropped and boom, they were gone. But you're restocked up. These things got raised seams that most mimic a baseball. Tell me about the product itself and what excites you most about it and the response that has been attached to it.
The thing that excites me most is just the memories that you could create with your family, your friends. It's not even really about the baseball. I feel like it's more about the experience you could have with playing with the ball, because me and my brothers played with foam baseballs all the way growing up, and it's all about the memories for us. We don't even remember what ball we played with. We just remember how much fun it was. But now we're trying to become the Borgo ball, they remember the name of what ball they played with growing up.
So Blake competed at was it Mount Sacramento Junior College to start, and then Utah Tech is where you had finished at. Tatem, you're still in high school, right?
Yes, I'm currently at Chino Hills right now. I'm a junior.
Okay. How often are you busting out the Borgoball with the guys on the high school team?
Oh, we do it after almost every game. Like, I'll be playing with some of the little brothers just right after, just right behind home plate. But it comes out pretty frequent on rain days too.
Brett, you played at Cal State Fullerton, Louisiana Lafayette, Cal Poly, SLO. I'm not in California, so tell me what SLO means. I looked this up before, but I can't recall.
San Luis Obispo. It's on the Central Coast.
Okay, yes, that makes sense. Yeah, enlighten us. There might be an East Coast bias I've heard of before, right, Brett? Do you believe in that? Us East Coasters have no idea the kind of lives y'all live.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
The West Coast, it's a good coast because I was in the South for a little bit. I'm not too familiar with the East Coast, but
right,
good one.
Yeah, you and I, actually all three of us share some Southern roots, so to speak. I went to Tulane, Roll Wave.
Okay,
right, that's my school, and Kyle has spent plenty of time in the great city of Baton Rouge. So he has some family at LSU, lived there for a while. So yes, we all appreciate the South equally on this podcast. But guys, I gotta know, amongst the three of you, and we'll include Ty as well, even though he's not with us on the podcast, who is the best thrower of the Borgoball?
Brett's for sure got the nastiest slider.
He's got the best slider.
He's got the most spin rate for sure.
Okay. What's the competition look like? What are you guys constantly like trying new pitches, like getting new stuff to throw out there, or is it just like grip it and rip it and see what happens?
Well, when me and Tatem are playing, when we're playing in the hallway, I'm a lefty and I'm really bad at hitting righty. So usually I'm just pitching when we're in the house, but I try to get him to go outside so I could actually have a chance to hit the ball.
Brett, tell me, now you're the eldest. I want to start with you on this question. The response to the Borgoball on social media, you guys primarily, you're on TikTok, but Instagram, Backyard Baseball Bros is where so much of your traffic's coming from. And we work in content, Kahn and I. Sometimes it may not seem that way, but trust me, we're pushing content. It just might be in a variety of different ways every single day. We have a day job, okay? This is just kind of our side passion, which that's what the Borgoball is for y'all, which I love because we can relate to that. We hope to somehow, refine and work on our craft in such a way where we can be half as, big as what y'all have become in just these, few short months where these Borgoballs first dropped. I mean, you look at the traffic, 3.7 million, 17.6 million, views on some of these videos on Instagram. I mean, it's incredible the simulations that y'all are able to do in the house and outside. What has been your response to that, Brett, in terms of seeing this kind of organically take off in such a way that people are responding to?
Well, I'm able to see how hard my brothers work to kind of get the things going behind the scenes. A lot of people, they don't see how many hours it takes to do the video, how long it took to develop this baseball, how many times they're filming and editing videos. It's just a lot of things that go in it. And I'm able to watch it from behind the scenes and give input. And it's pretty cool to see how much time and effort they've been putting into it to actually put it on the market and people appreciate it.
What about you, Tatem? And you being the youngest, from your view, from your perch, being in high school playing, introducing this to, other teenagers that seem to love it as you get close to your college years, to see the social media aspect. You might be, I'm 36, Kahn's a couple of years behind me. We've got a grasp on the power of social media, but I almost feel like, my 9-year-old daughter probably understands it sometimes much better than I do. What's it been like for you connecting with this through social?
It's been really cool. Like, I've gotten to meet some of my teammates that have seen the Instagram and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was you. And then we just get to bond over that. And I was like, yeah, I'll get you a ball. Just being able to give balls to my friends. I just like it.
Tell them about when you're working out at Futures.
Oh, I was working at this plate, or I'm working out, and one of the guys I work out with, he's like, are you the guy from Backyard Baseball Bros? And I was like, yeah, that's me.
That's awesome.
It's just cool.
That's so cool.
Listen, it's great to be recognized, especially that young. And I mean, we talk about all this influencer age, but really this is organic, right? Like, you guys are just bringing this into your normal lives. Like, you're not really, I mean, you are posting on social media and it's growing rapidly, but this is just a part of who you guys are. You're a baseball family. You're a backyard, brother family. Like, it's amazing to just see how this is organically taken off for you guys. Tatem, I'll start with you here, just because you are, you're playing high school baseball right now. Like, has your coaching staff adopted this ball at all? Like, have you guys, like, do the coaches love this? Like, and Brett and Blake, like, maybe you can relate to it from your past coaching days. Like, have you reached out to your coaches and said, hey, this is an actual useful tool, like, you could use in practice?
Yeah, I've gave them to some of my coaches, and they really liked it. Like, their sons play with it, and they really like the ball, and they just really like what I'm doing. They support it fully.
Love it.
Yeah,
Like,
for me at Utah Tech, I have a lot of coaches that have kids. So when I went up for the alumni game, I passed out a few balls to some of my coaches, and their kids loved it so far.
And Blake, speak to it was just mentioned, the amount of brain power, bandwidth, sweat equity that has to be poured into, it was Brett who brought it up, the actual marketing and promotion. I mean, we know with this podcast we do, and Blake, you and I have talked offline, promotion is king. It's going to be the driver, the nuts and bolts of any business, company, product success is how much you're able to get it out there. But how much time are you all as a family spending on the marketing and promotion? And to see it actually paying off right now, it's just a matter of kind of maintaining and figuring out how to take it to the next level. But it's an inexact science.
Honestly, we just, whenever we feel like playing, we're just like, you want to record a video? Probably. We've been slacking lately, but usually we're trying to shoot for 2 videos a week. But I've been a little busy. We've all been busy lately since baseball started. So, but
yeah, it takes
a couple hours to edit the videos. But when we're playing, it's fun. So that's the fun part. Editing is just what you got to do that comes along with it.
I was going to say, yeah, like, you guys just you whatever you want to play, just stick a camera out there and see what happens, right? Like, that's the easiest way to make these videos, because it can do anything. You can make this thing do anything. I mean, I got it, and I took it to I was on a work trip to Morgantown to go call West Virginia baseball, and I brought this with me for entertainment purposes. And I just threw it in my hotel room to see what the heck I could make it do, and it was awesome. And I knew it wouldn't break the hotel wall, which was even better. So, like, this thing was a great entertainment piece. I'm going to New York City in the morning, and I'm bringing this with me to entertain me, because this is the perfect little thing to just throw around when you're in the hotel room. You're killing time. You got to go to dinner or some event or go call a game or whatever. And I played baseball. I was terrible at it. That's why I'm a broadcaster now. I threw a slider the other day. I was like, I've never been able to throw a slider in my life. It was awesome. So,
it's funny you say that, because I was driving my friends home the other day, and we stopped at my house because I had to pick up something. And I had a Borgoball in my car, I guess, just chilling. I walked inside, get whatever I needed, walk outside. My friends are playing in the street with the Borgoball.
That's amazing.
That's sweet, man. Blake, the way this idea was born and how it started, its inception, you kind of touched on it earlier, the backyard baseball nostalgia that exists between playing ball in the house and kind of the restraints being taken off at the Borgoball, where now it's okay in so many different ways. But, how did the idea come about? It was because of a pop-up shop of sorts, 15 years ago, correct?
Yeah. So what was the tournament that you went to?
There's a tournament in Tennessee. It's MLB run tournament, but they take the best pony team, AABC, a whole bunch of different leagues. And MLB had these little foam baseballs, and my brothers were kids at the time because I was only 10 or 11 years old, so I was playing. But these guys during the baseball games, because they're bored, played baseball with these little foam balls, which I'll give him the rest of the story.
So we didn't really watch his games. We just would go.
We were playing on the grass behind the fields with the balls.
They had a pop-up shop, and I'm pretty sure we might have stole a couple of them, to be honest, because we just loved them so much. They were really fun to play with, and we took a bunch home. My mom was like, "You guys took 20 of these balls home." I don't remember doing it, but she's like, "I remember you guys smuggled 20 on the plane." But yeah, I guess that's where our infatuation with the foam baseballs came into play right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
amazing.
Go ahead,
Kyle.
David. No, you got.
No, it's amazing. And like it's the kid-like nature. Like listening to you guys talk about it, it reminds me of playing the computer game Backyard Baseball, which is had gotten a resurgence now as well. They just dropped the game on mobile and iPad with the original source code, which was believed to be lost. Like that game has revived itself. So I'm hoping you guys can, call the folks over at Humongous Entertainment and get yourselves a little collab going with this with the Borgoball, because I think that'd be a perfect partnership with the Borgoball. Put it in the game and just have Kenny Kawaguchi all of a sudden getting that power up and throwing the Borgoball. I mean, I think that'd be incredible. So I hope
who's your favorite backyard baseball? Y'all aren't familiar with the game. I'm
too young. I never got to it.
Yeah, maybe not Tatum, but who's each of yours favorite backyard baseball player?
It's definitely Pablo Sanchez.
Yes.
But there's MLB guy in the game. Like you could unlock him secretly. I forget what year it was. But I had a favorite pitcher, but I can't remember his name right now. He threw he threw gas.
Dontrell Willis was in the game at one point.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked
D-Train was in there.
I liked Pete Wheeler as well with his speed. He'd put down the bunt and just fly around the bases. Gosh, that was like circa 2003 when I was playing that game. Would have been like 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
Humongous Entertainment you just dropped too. Like I don't think that word's ever been in my brain. It's been like 22 years. I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah, well, listen. I mean, like you got big games on the computer. You got this to play wherever, and then you've got real baseball. I know you guys are still around the game of baseball. You're following baseball. You're going out to these events. You're handing out these balls. You're getting coaches involved. You're getting
Tatum's still playing.
Tatum's playing, right? Exactly. Ty's playing too. So, one of the segments that we worked with Blake on to advertise the Borgoballs and you guys at backyardbaseballbros.com is we created the Backyard Breakdown, delivered by Borgoballs, where we find a unique situation that happened in the weekend that was for college baseball, and we just break it down. We talk about it because it's one that you kind of simulate that you would do in the backyard. Now, the one we found for this week is not necessarily one you'd simulate in the backyard, but it's pretty zany, and we figured we would give you guys the opportunity to break this one down. I don't know if you guys saw this exchange over the weekend, so we're going to go to Georgia, Foley Field, Athens, Georgia. Georgia Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers playing over the weekend. They did a mid-game interview with Georgia's baseball coach, Wes Johnson. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see this and hear the audio as well.
Yeah, we're gonna ask you to break down an interview since we're talking heads instead of the actual baseball play. So this is more on our level. But yeah, when David says zany, I don't think there's any better way to describe this. So I'm going to add it to the stage here.
All right, so here we go. So I'm going to make this full screen for you guys, and then just take a listen and see what you guys think.
You got Charlie Condon in the house, and we talked about it in the Zoom call about how you were trying to replace him. And just get a little bit into the weeds on that one, trying to replace him with this lineup.
Yeah, guys, we did it with Moneyball. We knew we couldn't replace 37 homers. And we just tried to get the lineup deeper.
When you talk about your pitching staff this weekend, what's been your take?
We got to throw a lot more strikes. You look at right there, walk, a hit, and then, they play baseball. They hit a good sac fly, and that's how you score runs, and that's how you win in a game 3.
Okay, so the hand gesturing in between his answers. What is he doing?
Maybe a sign. I don't know.
It's got to be a sign.
Maybe like a take sign. Maybe I don't know.
Is he just that distracted from the interview that he's trying to have another conversation, which is totally plausible.
He looked like he didn't even want to do the interview.
Yeah. But it was so like animated and over the top. That was wild. That was wild.
So Tom, that's our backyard breakdown delivered by Borgoball, backyardbaseballbros.com. So my take is this, and I want to get Tatum's perspective on this first, since he's still playing the game right now. Signs cannot be that complicated, can they? Like that was my first takeaway, is Wes Johnson is signing like Blake said, but like, how is anyone picking up what he's putting down there, dude? Are your high school baseball signs that complicated?
Oh, no chance. We got the easiest signs. I don't want to tell you because the other teams might be listening.
Yeah, it's like fifth motion, whether it's belt, to the elbow. What I think of how simple things were, through Little League, they were barely more sophisticated from like 11 and 12-year-old ball to senior year in high school. There's not much. Y'all aren't working with PitchCom, are you, Tatum?
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure that hasn't made its way into the high school realm.
Not yet.
Yeah. It'll be here before we know it. All right, gentlemen, let's give you a couple more minutes to wax on anything else you may want to share. Anything additional on the Borgoball and how people can find you. Again, it's backyardbaseballbros.com, backyardbaseballbros on Instagram. Anything else you think might be, important for our viewers to know?
We have a limited edition colored Borgoball coming out pretty soon.
Ooh.
It's in the making. I'll show you guys real quick. I'll give you a little sneak peek.
Okay.
All right. A colored Borgoball. I love it. Let's
It'd
go.
be in the works too for making a machine baseball.
Oh.
A machine, like for a pitching machine?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
I don't know if you can see.
Ooh, there it is. Yeah, the blue. Ooh, that
like
blue is
blue.
clean.
Like a blue and green.
Oh,
Yeah.
that thing.
I'd make like a golden ticket Borgoball.
Ooh.
Like we're gonna put it in like a random pack, but we haven't decided what the winner is gonna get yet. We're still thinking about it.
Have you
I
ever?
think they should get to come up with a sign that's crazier than Wes Johnson's for Tatum's baseball.
That gold ball looks like something from the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Last Action Hero, which was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I don't know if either of you, certainly Tatum hasn't. This is a 1993 movie, same year Jurassic Park came out. But Last Action Hero, they had this golden ticket, I think, to get into the movie theater. And I forget parts of the plot, but incredible stuff. That gold really popped. That was nice. I like that.
That's clean.
So when can we expect the color balls to drop or be available in the machine ball?
I'm gonna say probably like a month for the limited editions. Then we're still in the works for the machine ball. We're still got to find a supplier and stuff. So we want to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning to go to Omaha and advertise?
I actually really want to. I feel like that'd be good content for the Borgoball.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You guys should go to, I would say, the Pac-12 tournament, but that isn't a thing anymore.
Not yet. It might be in a couple years again.
Yeah, well, not this year. But
the Big West tournament.
West.
First year for Big West.
Big West. Okay, there you go. Yeah, Big West. I was going to say, if you guys want to make the trip to Alabama, we'll see you in Hoover. I mean, for the SEC tournament, there's a whole lot of fans there that would certainly love these Borgo balls. So we're there every year. But yeah, if you guys can get out to Omaha, I mean, college baseball fan mecca. Like that's the place.
Isn't this the first year we're having a Big West baseball tournament, right?
Yes,
first year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Where are they is that going to be held on a campus site or where's it
It'll
at?
be Cal State Fullerton this year.
Okay. And they'll just kind of move it around here initially. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, I appreciate it so much. I know our viewers and listeners certainly do, to be able to learn a little bit more about y'all, spend some time with y'all. And, we always have an open line. Our door is always open to each of you, and really are appreciative of the collab that we got going on with the Backyard Baseball Bros and the Borgoball itself. Backyardbaseballbros.com, Backyard Baseball Bros on Instagram. Again, we appreciate you, all three of you, and certainly I know Ty would be here if he could, but Brett, Blake, and Tatum, it's awesome, man. We'll continue to spin this thing forward as best we can.
I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I had a good time on this.
All right, we'll talk soon. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll go through some box score bingo, touch on some of the other notable results coming out of Week 7, hat tips, dudes, SDAs, and more. All that coming up in 1 minute on Dugouts, Dumbbells, and Dingers. College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletic season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Appreciate the Borgognos brothers for hopping on 3 out of the 4, the masterminds of the Borgoball. That was some awesome stuff. Kyle Schassburger, David Kahn with you at Kyle Schass and SportsCon4 for another 15, 20 minutes tops. You're going to have some work to do here tonight. Do we have a live scoreboard update on UConn? Even though it's not going to matter, obviously.
Yeah, they're winning. It's like 26-14 in the second quarter. It's over. It's already over. Juju Watkins getting hurt just guaranteed UConn going to the Final Four. I knew that from the second it happened.
Yeah.
So, listen, Gino Auriemma, winningest head coach in all of college basketball history. He's incredible. All right?
Yeah,
Sorry, Division I college basketball history. He's incredible.
Justin LeBron dodged a bullet. Alabama and the Crimson Tide this past weekend. Left with a wrist injury. Test came back clean. Actually played the next day when he was the game time decision. Alabama took 2 out of 3 from Oklahoma. I think a critical, part of the story from weekend number 7 of what could have been in terms of worst case scenario situations where probably the Golden Spikes Award front runner, right? At this point, we've talked about him for several weeks now in a row, and each one of us, Kahn, and all of America really overlooked his potential in terms of being the bona fide best player in college football, and that's pretty much what he's been to this point. But Alabama has him back. They win 2 out of 3. They continue to roll. And, Rob Vaughn and the Crimson Tide at least are able to avoid disaster there.
Yeah, well, especially when you see injury update coming out late on Monday night. Texas's All-American outfielder Max Bellew missing the rest of this regular season with a fractured thumb. Maybe back for the postseason. Maybe. But he was hitting .358, 6 homers, 22 RBIs. For the Hook'em Horns, and he's out for the regular season. Big loss for Texas. So great for Alabama to not lose their All-American and Justin Lebron.
Yeah, and Texas did have some good injury news, though, at the same time, right? They are getting a couple of guys back. I'm trying to find that Kendall Rogers tweet because it's Bellew who's out, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Bellew
is out,
yes. They do get Adrian.
The Bellew tweet in your DMs.
Yeah, I saw that, but they get Adrian Rodriguez and Ryan Galvin back.
There you go.
They've been day to day, so they were subsequent tweets. I know the blue one was there, but no, good on LeBron and Alabama. I watched some of Alabama and Oklahoma this past weekend. I think it was the middle game, which is the game that they had lost to Oklahoma, 6-5. They went 8-6 on each of the other 2 days. Justin LeBron drew a 12-pitch walk in that 9th inning of the game that they had lost. That loaded the bases. Ultimately, didn't go the Tide's way. Oklahoma was able to just narrowly hang on. But another data point in terms of what Justin LeBron can do in his patience and ability to change a game and to keep the hair standing up on the back of your neck for as an opposing coach on what he can do. But Alabama wasn't able to come through in that game, but they did win the series. Did you see how late the LSU Mississippi State finale started on Saturday night?
I did not. Enlighten me.
First pitch in Baton Rouge Central Time, 9:30 p.m. because of lightning, which also impacted the Friday game. A lot of Thursday, Friday, Saturday this past weekend. Everyone will mostly be Thursday, Friday, Saturday coming up at the end of the month or in a couple of weeks for Easter. But so a 9:30 start. LSU sweeps Mississippi State. So Mississippi State, one of those 4 teams that's now 1-8. 1:44 a.m. The game is over. 4 hours and 8 minutes. There was an 8-run first inning by LSU after that game was delayed until 9:30 p.m., 9:34 first pitch. So it's over at 1:44. 11,303 fans, paid attendance, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't that filled up. That place can seat, 13, 14,000, one of the largest capacities in all of college baseball. But yeah, it was a 17-8 final, certainly a miserable finish from a Mississippi State standpoint. But yeah, 9:30, 1:44. I've been to a couple of those in Baton Rouge at the box.
Yeah.
They can be fun. They can be fun.
They can, but that's not the LSU that we want to talk about this week, Kyle.
No, it is not. It is not.
Yeah. We want to talk about the LSU Shreveport Pilots, all right, out of the NAIA. That's who we want to talk about as part of our box score bingo and NAIA special. It's back, baby. You and I both found this, but I want to tee this up before you get into the nitty gritty of the box scores. I know you love you're weaving your way in and finding the wildness that is box score bingo. Do you know what LSU Shreveport's record is right now?
Yes, I'm more concerned with the record. I didn't weave into the box score as much as you may have thought. They are 33-0. And here's the kicker, Kahn. I looked at their roster. They don't have a single guy that isn't a JUCO or other NAIA school transfer. They are all college transfers. Every single one of these dudes. Yep. I mean, this is a super team of all super NAIA teams. I mean, how does this team not cut down the nets? Oh, sorry, basketball on the brain. How do they not dogpile at the NAIA College World Series? I mean, they haven't been in a couple of years. Last time they were at 22. The final, 22. League champs, 5 out of the last 6 years. 5 World Series appearances in all, starting in 2003. Mm-hmm. How do they not win this whole thing? I mean, they are scoring total
they got
runs.
Ousted. They got ousted in the opening round last year of the tournament, which they've made the national championship opening round each of the last 4 years, but they got ousted in the opening round. They were 44-11 last year.
I mean, dude, it's bonkers. And
they're a unit.
Absolute unit. A wagon of epic proportions. So they beat Texas College in 7 innings, 42-4.
Yeah.
That's in the finale. They outscored Texas College on the weekend, 94-4, winning 37-0 in game 1, 15-0 in 2, and then 42-4 in the finale. In Saturday's finale, they had a leadoff home run, as you would expect, as part of a 15-run first inning. In a game that they won 42-4. They set the single game record, 16-run first inning. They set a single game record for runs scored with 38, single game record for RBIs with 34, previous records being 36 and 32. I just, looking at the makeup of the roster, though, that's what just has me scratching my, I mean, who is this coach? Do you have the coach's name?
No, I didn't actually look at the coach, but I want to tell you this. They had 94 runs, not only in 3 games, in 21 innings. All 3 of these games were shortened. All 3 of these games were 7-inning games. In game 1, they scored 15 runs in the 3rd inning. That put it away. They outscored them 37-0, and they only allowed 2 hits. They only had 16 hits for 37 runs in game number 1, which is I mean, it's insane stuff. They had 16 walks in that game. They only had 7 homers this entire series. 94 runs, only 7 homers.
Dude, they don't homer a lot. That's one of the team stats that I was trying to see how many dongs that they had, but they're not a big dong swinging club.
No, the most homers they had was in game 3 in the finale. They hit 4. That's the most they had all weekend. But listen to this, Schass. The first 2 games, they held Texas College to 5 hits. In the first 2 games combined, when they scored 52 runs and had 31 hits in the first 2 games. And then you get to the zaniness of Sunday, 42-4, 42 runs, which includes the 16-run first you brought up, and a 15-run fourth, 27 hits. They had 19 walks in game 3. They had only 6 walks in game number 2. So that's 45 walks in the series. That's stupid.
Dude, I'm trying to pull up the top 25 poll because they are number one. I know that only because of
Yeah.
their schedule page. When you look at their athletics webpage and you hover over the sport across the top, they got the number one on the baseball, and they're 25th in basketball, number one nationally in bass fishing, 13th nationally in men's soccer. I mean, incredible intuitiveness by the website designers to be able to put the national ranking. I've never seen that before. But when I was looking at their stats earlier, I went right to home runs, and I'm going to give you their total runs. They have 385 runs in their 33 games, 33-0. That's 11.66 per game. They have 10 dudes with at least 20 RBIs. 10. But their total home runs in 33 games is only 41. I mean, barely more than one a game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not like a big time slugging team. Now they have 144 extra base hits. So yeah, they're hitting gaps. They're getting doubles. They got 78 of those. So they're getting 2 a game just about. But they don't hit for a lot of power. But my God, they are stacked.
Dude, they are
incredible.
They're loaded. So I went deeper into their Wikipedia page to find more cool stuff about LSU Shreveport. LSU Shreveport is what they are, the Pilots.
Yes.
So they play at Pilot Field, their baseball stadium. Their soccer stadium, though, is called the Swamp, and that's because their mascot is the River Monster.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, this place is dope, man. Never even heard of LSU Shreveport before today.
I mean, you've heard of the city of Shreveport, though, right?
I know Shreveport, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Home of Centenary College and Robert Parrish.
Exactly. And they play in the RRAC, which stands for the Red River Athletic Conference. I love NAIA. This is awesome. Bring this into the NCAA. I'm here for all this. This is incredible.
I got one more bingo note for you. Florida State and
All
Notre
right.
Dame, game one of their series, which Notre Dame won 16-9, but then Florida State swept a doubleheader on Saturday. Game one was played on Thursday. In that 16-9 Notre Dame win, 13 combined homers, which is significant because it matches the most combined home runs in any game this year. In any game. 13 bombs, matching Stonehill and VMI in a 23-19 win for Stonehill earlier this season, also 13 combined home runs. But of those 13, between Florida State and Notre Dame, you had distances, top flight of 466 feet from Brady Gumpf, 105.6 miles per hour off the bat, and other rockets of 449, 2 each of 447. I mean, there were some absolute jackknife bombs as part of the 16-9 game that saw Notre Dame win. Other high home run total games this year, Ohio in a 20-17 win over Moorhead, 12 home runs. BYU beat CSUN 19-3 in a 11 home run contest. Also Eastern Illinois and Moorhead each combined for 11 and a 19-5 win for the Panthers. But yeah, 13, only the second time this year. That's your high watermark for home runs in a game. Florida State and Notre Dame this past weekend.
Yeah, and 13 is an important number because if you take a look right below your note on that home run number, Ole Miss, game one win over Florida, they did it with 13 walks this past weekend.
That wasn't the walk-off game, was it?
No, that was game one.
Okay, so, God, Florida's inventing new ways to lose. I mean, so the game
were up
I'm
5 runs and they lost.
Yeah. All right, so remind me again. By the way, I do want to credit D1 Baseball, new to D1 Baseball this year. Friday starters, Bradley Smart. He had the home run total markers that I've scooped from Twitter, from X. But tell me the Ole Miss figure in game one then for walks. 13?
13 walks. By the way, we should mention D1 Baseball. Welcome to the Varsity Network family.
Is that official?
It is done.
How do we not lead the show with that, my man?
I just noticed it today when I was looking at their podcast feed. The Varsity Network logo has officially been branded on the D1 Baseball podcast family of podcasts. So D1 Baseball, welcome to our family.
That's amazing. That just makes my heart sing. What also does is, so the final game, we'll have more on the D1 Baseball and Varsity partnership coming up, okay? I'm just kind of blindsided. I got to pick my jaw up off the ground. I mean, I can't believe it. I had no idea. I mean, this just came out of left field. No, David Kahn had a little bit to do with that behind the scenes.
Slightly.
I just wasn't aware it was that close to actually happening. So we will have a more put together report on what's happening in that space. Don't worry. We will let you know. But back to that Florida Ole Miss, I'm just going to sprinkle in some other notable things that stood out, and then we'll pound our hat tips, dudes, STAs, get the hell out of here.
Like
set
you're
the
pounding
table
that
for the
drink.
weekend. Let's do, let's try to be done in the next 13 minutes. You think that's possible?
It's halftime. UConn's up 14, so I'm fine with that.
Okay, let's try to do that. So Florida fell to 0-8 in the SEC in Game 2. So they salvaged the finale against Ole Miss. But Florida went up 9-5 at Ole Miss in Game 2 in the entering the bottom of the 8th inning. Found a way to blow it that included Ole Miss walking off with a 3-run 9th inning for the Rebels. So Florida took an 9-5 lead into the 8th. Ole Miss would have scored, 2 runs there, 1 run, and then they scored 3 more in the bottom of the 9th to walk it off and beat
10-9.
the Gators.
That was game 1 of a doubleheader. Yeah, so they played 2 on Friday because of weather. So they won the second game 11-8, and they were both 9-inning games. But yeah, they had a chance to sweep that doubleheader. They were up 9-5 going to the bottom of the 8th, and no curfew rule for Florida to run that out.
No.
So curfew gate doesn't exist in Oxford this weekend. But yeah, Gators, tough scene. Listen, you mentioned it. We were just talking about the fact that Florida last year, I don't know if they can make the tournament. I don't know. What happened? They made it to Omaha.
Yeah. Don't
count anybody out.
And they were each of our picks preseason to win the College World Series, were they not?
Oh man, they were. Dude, our picks. Listen. Our picks are almost all of our picks are probably hot garbage at this point. My Golden Spikes Award winner is Jace Lavalette. Yours is Drew Burris. That's more likely.
Yeah, at least he had a big time bomb, and now his coach is on his way out, which could add an extra layer of inspiration in some ways. But
I'm going through some of my picks. Texas A&M, they're not going to Omaha.
No.
UConn, they're not going to Omaha.
No.
I mean, you have Michigan, they're fringy. DBU's ranked, they're fringy. But Florida, we both have Florida. Florida's our national champion.
Yeah. Oregon hosts Michigan this weekend, by the way. The Ducks are sliding. Fell 5 spots to number 15.
That's another one of my picks.
A 1-2 week. Dropped both ends of a doubleheader to Ohio State. Ohio State had entered the weekend with the worst Power 4 RPI of any team, and the Ducks dropped both ends of that doubleheader. So 1-2 on the weekend against Ohio State. 7-0 win before losing 11-10 and 8-6. And then Oregon State, tough weekend for the Oregon schools as the Beavers fell 6 spots to number 11, went 2-2 this week. Series loss at Nebraska. Cornhuskers get up off the map. They won the first and third game in that series, 7-3 and 16-7 did the Huskers over the Beavers. Oregon State winning the middle game 16-5. Kansas sweeps Oklahoma State. They're now 23-6, 6-3 in the Big 12. K-State leads the Big 12 following a sweep of Texas Tech, 19-8, 8-1 overall. Arizona's right there near the top. Who am I missing? Arizona State, who entered the top 25 rankings. And Kahn, you can probably shed more light on this, but your boys went down to Provo and laid it on BYU.
Dude, they did. They scored 39 runs in 30 hours. 39 runs in 30 hours. That finale game was insane. They went up 7-0, gave up 12 unanswered, and then scored they gave up 15 unanswered, and then scored 12 unanswered to win 19-16. It was 7-0 West Virginia, 15-7 BYU, 19-16 final. West Virginia wins. How stupid is that?
Wow.
But they won the series. So you'll take it.
My final weekend result, Arkansas going to Vanderbilt, which we mentioned already, but just historical data for you to kind of lean on. First time since 2005 that Arkansas has swept Vanderbilt. First time in Nashville, which I understand during division baseball, which is now behind us, that wasn't as much of a thing, trips to Nashville, but 1994, the last time that they had gone to Music City and swept the Commodores. Arkansas did that this weekend. Then after that, 14-13 or 1-run high-scoring loss to Missouri State in the midweek. Cam Kozel, the former Commodore Kahn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who has
is
become
it Kozel or Kozel?
It's pronounced 3 or 4 different ways. I've talked to so many freaking. I'm settling on Kozel. Kozel, okay, is what I'm going with, because nobody seems to know how to pronounce it a way that is satisfactory for all like minds. Cam Kozel, in his return to Vandy, who transferred to Arkansas because he didn't see the longevity or a fruitful career, or maybe had gotten phased out in many ways, and wasn't the expected first baseman necessarily at the start of the year, at least opening weekend for Arkansas. My boy, Juicy Juice, Rocco Pepe was getting play there. But now Cam Kozel has won this job over. The dude homered twice on Friday night at Vanderbilt, 2 times in his return to Vandy, homered another time on Saturday, had 8 total RBIs in his return. You talk about delivering a blow and just a heavy onslaught of nails out of the gun into your former team. I mean, that was Cam Kozel, so much that Arkansas, this could be my SDA. I didn't really have one. It's been heavy Arkansas recently, so I was trying to go, to a different well, but might as well go back to old reliable. Why go to a different well when there's only one reliable well? There's a picture of Cam Kozel in front of a burning Hawkins field, as if, he set that place ablaze as they left Music City with a 3-game sweep. He is second in the SEC in batting average, 457, Cam Kozel.
Dude, it's incredible to me how many sweeps we're seeing in the SEC this year, because it's so hard to get a sweep. And on the road. Arkansas, Tennessee did it this week too, again at South Carolina. It is so difficult to sweep, especially on the road. I mean, you got to go into a hostile environment and beat the best guy on that team when you don't have the fan support. And then you go win the next 2? Damn. Come on. We got to give a shout out to some SEC road sweeps, all right? It's big stuff.
Give me a shout. Give me a Hawaiian shout out, will you?
Oh, you want to go Hawaii? You want to talk about my boy Kamana Nahaku, all right? From Hawaii.
Are we sure that's right? Are we sure?
Yes.
Right?
It's I looked at the game notes. Kamana Nahaku. That's how you say his name. According to the Hawaii Kamana Nahaku, according to the Hawaii baseball game notes. All right, that is how you say his name. My best attempt at it. He played for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. 5 homers, 11 runs batted in, 6 for 14 this past week. No strikeouts as part of some Manoa magic, as they call it, because Hawaii was playing Cal State Northridge CSUN. All right, over the weekend. Big West battle in California. Hawaii trailed by 6 runs in the finale, heading into the 9th inning at CSUN. They had lost the first game 15-10, won the second game 9-3. So this game was for the series. They were down by 6, and they come together to score 10 runs in the frame to pull off a 14-10 victory to take the series win at CSUN. And it was Kamana Nahaku who had a single game record, 3 homers in the game, 5 on the weekend, as you mentioned. He becomes the first Hawaii player ever to homer 3 times in a game since Colton Wong in 2009. Whoa. But they sent 13 men to the plate, scored 10 runs on 7 hits to go from down. What were they down? They were down 6 runs to up 4. And they come away with a victory, 14-10, after being down 10-4, going into the bottom of the 9th inning, and they take the series. Hawaii now, overall on the year, is 20-6, 8-4 in Big West play. Could we see a regional on the island?
I don't know, man. I don't think. I
Big
don't
West
think that
champs?
8. Yeah, but the 8. 4
Probably
losses in the league? Yeah, no.
Probably not.
It was
But
a pipe
one could
dream to
dream.
begin the year. Yeah,
It was.
a pipe dream.
One could dream.
One could dream. UC Irvine, 10 wins in a row, 11-1 in the league. Okay, that's the team that's going to be hosting out of the Big
How
West.
about Cal Poly?
Cal
9
Poly,
wins in a row.
yeah, they're technically leading the Big West standing because they haven't suffered a loss. They're 9-0. Irvine 11-1. Hawaii 8-4. And so I think Irvine, man, if they continue to play the way that they are, that's going to be your team. UC Santa Barbara, I think, has dropped 3 weekends in a row.
Ooh.
So they have really
Ouchos.
fallen off. My dude is Brady O'Brien, more so because I feel so terrible for this guy of Richmond. Of Richmond, this guy did everything he could to help the Spiders just twirl the most intricate web in the face of the Fordham. What's their nickname? No idea.
Rams. The Rams.
The Rams. Okay. Tried to just maul the Ram. Okay. That's what Brady O'Brien was doing. He was mauling the Ram. He was launching webs from his spidey forearms that were just blasting home run upon home run. The dude went 5 for 16 on the week, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, struck out twice, no walks. I don't know why this guy didn't walk more when he hit 3 home runs Saturday in one game in a 15-11 loss. He can't get any of his pitchers to lift him up and pick this dude up. 15-11 loss to Fordham Saturday. He hits 3 bombs, comes back, hits 2 more home runs on Sunday. His team loses 21-18. I mean, it's just so sad. Colby College transfer. The Richmond website doesn't even have the info on his bio page that exists on his Colby College bio page. So I had to leave the Richmond bio page because there was no data there for me to wax over the triumphs of Brady O'Brien, even in the face of defeat. I had to go to his Colby College page. Colby College. And the favorite part of the Colby Athletic Center is the weight room. Love it. My kind of guy. Favorite place on campus? The hitting pavilion. He also did note that his goal after Colby College was to earn that data analytics degree and then play his final year, exhaust his eligibility at Richmond. So the dude knew at that point he was going to Richmond. Good on him for making that right. And then also hitting 5 rockets this past weekend, both in losing efforts where, the pitching was non-existent. My hat tip, Georgia Southern. 9-1-2 night in the midweek, 912 for the area code in Statesboro, $9 tickets, $1 hot dog, $2 soft drinks, and $2 beers. Soft drinks and beers, pop and beer, both for $2. Take that, Charleston River Dogs. You can learn a thing or two from the Georgia Southern Eagles. I'd like to pour one out for their longtime live Eagle mascot as well, who perished over the weekend. He would appreciate. Hat tip to Mr. Eagleman himself. Forgive me for not recalling his name off the top of the dome ski. Did not write this one down. But 912 night, that was a precursor to celebrate the life of Eagleman.
Absolutely. Here's the thing about this River Dogs thing. It's really irking me. So Thursday started in minor league baseball, right? It started in minor league baseball. It's infancy stages. All right. It was birthed in MILB. And by doing this, you are ruining one of the greatest, that's it, the greatest minor league baseball promotion that has stood the test of time. All right?
Absolute test of time.
Rid of this. $1 beers needs to be a thing. 2, even if you did 2. You know what? Inflation, I get it. Economy, all right? I don't understand the economy.
They're trying.
$2 beers.
Dubious efforts because they're trying to sneak it past us by saying we are adjusting the price of dollar beer night. Well, guess what? It's no longer dollar beer night when you go from $1 to $5. That's not how it works, Jack. Okay? That ain't
what I'm adjusting?
Works.
You know what I'm adjusting? I'm adjusting my weekend plans to avoid the Joe, as they call that stadium, Joseph P. Riley Park. I will not be going to the Joe.
Screw it. You know what also is, this all comes full circle. Everything comes full circle tonight, Con. By the way, the Eagles' name is Freedom. Okay. So bless to Freedom. Long time beloved bald eagle mascot for Georgia Southern passed away on Saturday. So no disrespect. I'm glad that the thought popped up there as we were talking about 9129. I didn't plan that, but I'm glad we could, celebrate the life of Freedom, if you will. Speaking of dogs and beer and everything else, okay, Coastal Carolina, which is a conference rival to Georgia Southern, which is not too far from Charleston and the River Dogs and this minor league beer alteration and dollar pricing. Yes. Read the room, Charleston, because Coastal Carolina is doing free concessions for all football games. Now, it is 4 items per visit, but you can and it doesn't include beer, okay? But we're talking hot dogs, we're talking nachos, we're talking pop, okay? Popcorn, all right? You can get 4 traditional items for free at any
And
football game.
unlimited drinks.
Unlimited. You can get in line, get your 4 items, go back to your seat, come right back. Hell, you can get in line, get your 4 items, set your 4 items down, get right back in line. It's free for everyone.
Yep.
It's incredible.
I love it. Sean,
where's the inflation?
You want to go? You want to go to a Coastal
Yes,
game this
yes.
year? All right.
How is there inflation impacting so much the Charleston River Dogs, but not impacting those in Conway, South Carolina?
It's not. It's just not. It's a disgrace, all right? It is a disgrace. They are ruining one of the time-honored traditions in minor league baseball. Take a page out of the Coastal playbook. Charleston River Dogs, do better. Do better. I want to give a hat. Actually, I also want to say do better to Liberty Baseball because that's part of my hat tip.
Yes.
Did you see this?
Yes.
You know what I'm about to talk about? Okay.
Yeah, they had to forfeit.
They had to forfeit a game due to the use of an ineligible player, and it was their starting pitcher who was the ineligible player. He was accidentally, quote unquote, left off of the 27-man travel roster for the weekend, but Liberty didn't realize it. So he entered play, and Jacksonville State immediately was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That guy's not on the travel roster. You lose. And they're right. That's the rule. If they have an ineligible player enter the game and he enters play, meaning he comes onto the field, it's over. Game, set, forfeit, done. And Jacksonville State caught it immediately. So my hat tip is to the Gamecocks of Jack State.
He's a first-year head coach, too. Liberty's Bradley LeCroy.
Do better.
He spent 15 years at his alma mater, Clemson, as an assistant coach. Okay? He was also at VCU as a head coach.
Wow.
For 2 seasons prior to, so he left VCU to take the Liberty gig.
Oh,
I mean,
buddy,
this shouldn't be his first rodeo, man. I hate that. I hate that for him. Yeah.
I think it's do better. Just do better.
Okay.
That's it. That's all it is. Just do better. Be better.
And
do better.
That was against who? Was that against Jacksonville State? The Liberty?
Jacksonville State's what I said. My hat tip is to the Gamecocks for catching.
Yeah.
It's not to Liberty. It's to Jacksonville State. You were alert. You realized. I mean, it's easy to. I don't know who's in charge of checking to make sure these players are eligible, but somebody who gets the roster, maybe their director of baseball ops, is like, hey, wait a minute, like I have their roster. The starter not on it, and you're not going to go tell them before the game, hey, by the way, guys, not on the roster. You're going to be like, let's see if they're dumb enough to put him in. They were dumb enough to put him on the field, and immediately they come out and go, yeah, he's ineligible, buddy. You lose. That's it.
Yeah. I'll let you take the mantle and finish off the SDA. I was going to wax about Hulk Hogan and the drama with the Hogans and his new smoke show wife, Sky Daly, and ex-wife Linda Hogan, who's blasting him and calling him a complete liar and sex addict and all this, and it's going on social. And it makes me feel so much better about my own life, but it also, conjures up all this great nostalgia of the days of me watching the Hulkster in the 90s and the early 2000s when I was into wrestling. But no, I will pass on that. I'll keep the Kozel in front of the Burning Hawk in Nashville as my SDA from Arkansas.
Okay, so I have 2. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go back to Provo first for a second because I want to show you the beautiful, the one, the only mustachioed Jack Cartsonis. Can you bring this on the screen, please? Look at this man sipping on a smoothie. All right, a tropical smoothie with the caption from West Junior Baseball, Aura. Jack Cartsonis right there, just sipping on a tropical smoothie, just peaceful, enjoying his time in Provo amidst the mountains, just loving life. All right. Tropical smoothie, sponsor that man. NIL right now. Let's do it. Okay. Let's do that. So there's one. I didn't get the story on the mustache, by the way. I tried. Nobody was able to give it to me. I was upset.
I can't believe it takes an hour, 22 minutes for you to bring up a Mountaineer mustache man for us to realize that this is my very own mustache's return to the pod in 2025.
We didn't talk about it. We forgot.
Holy smokes.
Oh man, I noticed it on Friday.
He's back.
But there it is. The mustache is back. He brought it back, folks. The beard, no more. It is mustachioed Kyle Schassburger. Mustachioed. Instead of mustachioed, mustachioed.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
It's exquisite.
Yeah.
It just, like I told you Friday when you saw it. By the way, RIP Bob Gassett leaving the company. Love you, my man.
Pour one out.
I cried with him before leaving Dogwood.
I teared up today
on
too.
Friday. I did not tear up today. I think I cried enough with him on Friday. But I told you when my mustache was revealed to everyone for the first time in a couple of days, it just felt right. The weather was turning. You got baseball barbecue on speed dial. You got Borgoballs in your hands outside. The weather is going to, lend itself to shirts being popped off and time being spent poolside. And, baseball is all around us. It's summertime. It's here. And it means it's mustache time.
So it's time to show off the work you've been putting in the weight room, baby. Gains. All right. The muscles are back. Look at these puppies.
Mustachio.
Look at them. They're here.
Mustachio.
Anyways, you know what else it's nice to show off? It's nice to show off some really dope threads. And that's my second SDA. It is the Cincinnati Bearcats with the throwback uniforms. Take a look at those guys. I mean, these are clean. Look at the Bearcat logo right there. I mean, holy smokes. You can't get any better than this.
Okay, Mr. Radio Man. Describe it for the folks that aren't watching.
Yes. So for those that aren't watching, it is an off-white color. The Bearcat logo is kind of like a menacing, snarling cat, but it's like a cartoon-style cat. Black face, red outline and red whiskers, and then snarling, gritted white fang-like teeth.
Yeah.
For the Cincinnati Bearcats. And they have a hat with the same cat logo on the black bill and brim of their cat of the hat.
See,
incredible.
I love how you describe that with the cat. I personally don't think that cat invokes as much fear as the way you just described it, although I can see why one would be fear-stricken. I just think the boldness of the color scheme and the large extremities that is the whiskers kind of overcome its ability to, look like it's about to maul you and consume you. But it's good. It's a very, very sharp throwback in the off-white or the cream-colored white.
Cream, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Cream-colored.
You want to rip through the lineup card and then let's get the hell out of here?
Yeah.
Because I got a scene setter to go make because UConn is up 18 points.
Okay. Tuesday does not matter because this pod isn't hitting your feed until Wednesday. But I will note, I will.
I've literally put on the dock to skip Tuesday.
No, I know that. I'm trying to do a segue. I know that. I can read that because I'm gonna post this at least on YouTube for any of our YouTube viewers.
Oh, okay.
On Tuesday. Okay. Come on. There's a method to my madness, Kahn. Don't freaking doubt me. I might be a whiskey drink in here, but I can read the screen. Western Kentucky, who is 25-3, 4-2 in Conference USA. They're visiting Vanderbilt on Tuesday.
Ooh.
Let's see how Vandy responds from 3-game sweep going up against a very good Toppers team that is tied atop the CUSA because they're visiting 17th ranked DBU this weekend, who's 18-9, 4-2 in the league. Western Kentucky beat Sam Houston in a sweep, 26-1, the combined score this past weekend. So my eyes are on that on Tuesday. If you get to it on the varsity or on the YouTube page on Tuesday, check it out. Tune in. You're welcome.
There you go.
Wednesday,
we have a few games that popped when I scanned the D1 baseball scoreboard. We have the Backyard Brawl, first iteration this year, West Virginia and Pitt on the Diamond at Kendrick Family Ballpark in Morgantown, West Virginia. Which West Virginia does now have a new head coach, Ross Hodge, hired out of North Texas for men's basketball. Just bringing it full circle back to men's basketball.
Yeah, thank you. Kevin Willard has left for Villa.
Yeah.
I am first to report.
No. Get out of that. Goodbye. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Maryland. I'm so sorry. Honestly, Terps fans, I'm so sorry for you. East Carolina and Elon also on Wednesday, and then Louisiana Tech, and then Louisiana, as they're referred to athletically, but it is the University of Louisiana Lafayette. But they refer to themselves as Louisiana for their athletic programs. Louisiana Tech will face them on Wednesday. Over the weekend,
by the way, I sense some snarkiness there, Mr. Tulane man.
I didn't say anything wrong. I addressed them the way they want to be addressed, regardless of my own personal feelings. But I addressed them properly, and I explained why I addressed them properly, because they ask you to. And I'm a man who lives by, when
Principle.
people ask you to do something, principle. Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone says, you want me to say something? I will do it. Now, internally, I may not, but that's me. That's my own choice. I have free will, freedom of speech. Okay. Anyways, it's also 10:30 on a Monday night, and I've had a drink, so who cares? Weekend lineup card. We got rivalries galore. Duke UNC kicks us off. Duke at number 19 UNC. Thursday through Saturday series. That series in Chapel Hill to start. You've also got a bevy of big SEC series. LSU number 7 at number 10 Oklahoma. That's a Thursday through Saturday set. Number 3 Georgia travels to Austin to take on 5th-rated Texas, and then number 8 Alabama, the Iron Bowl, goes to the Plains to battle 16th rated Auburn Tigers. You already brought up Oregon and Michigan. There's at Michigan this week. DBU Western Kentucky. Oregon State, can they deal with a very potent UC Irvine team? That's number 11 versus number 12. And then the final rivalry, a Big 12 rivalry now. We have number 24 Arizona State and Arizona.
Love it. I got a surefire lock as we go out the door.
Ooh.
Wake Forest visiting Florida State this weekend.
Okay. Yep.
Deeks dropping a series to Clemson 2 weeks ago and then getting swept at home at the boombox against Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
How about them Deeks and Tom Walter going to Tallahassee and taking 2 out of 3 from the top 5 Knowles? Give me the Deeks to bounce back in a wild ACC this year.
All right. Wake Forest wins series at FSU. It is on the Surefire Locks sheet. So far, you are 2-2 on the season. You have wins of Southern Miss winning a series over TCU in Fort Worth. So you've already got a road series win this year, Schass. And then you have UT Rio Grande Valley losing to Southern Miss in the midweek. That was a no. I'm sorry. Florida gave FSU their first loss in the midweek. You did pick that one correctly. So you're 2-2. This is your first Surefire Lock in 4 weeks. I'll continue to give the updated stats as we go along. But we'll see if you can get back above 500, Mr. Shastradamus. Whoa,
I got every word off my note. I prepped today, Kahn. Look at that. I got every word into the show today. Look at me. I did so good. Okay, Borgognos brothers. Thank you so much. But we appreciate them so much. Kahn, have fun on vacation, okay?
Thanks, buddy. See ya.